Okay, here I am looking at the UN Arms Treaty. It says UN Arms Treaty could put U.S. gun owners in foreign sights, say critics. It goes on down here to say there's a video on it right here. Go ahead and watch that.
Well, new concerns today as the United Nations is now considering at this moment a global arms treaty that would curtail certain gun sales. Right now, the UN is working on a plan that would put a whole new set of international gun rules in place. Supporters, including the Obama administration, argue it will make the world more secure by tamping down on weapons commonly used by gangs and terrorists. But critics fear it would infringe on the Second Amendment right to bear arms right here in the United States. Larry Pratt is the executive director of Gun Owners of America, and KT McFarland is a Fox News national security analyst. Larry, let me start with you on this, because the human rights groups have convinced the Obama administration to sort of reverse what had been U.S. policy when it comes to this proposed treaty, and to go into the United Nations and support it, because they argue that human rights violations nationwide or worldwide are the result in part of some very bad guys getting their hands on some guns, and we need to have more regulation of international gun sales. How does that affect the Second Amendment right here at home?
Well, it would completely work against what the Second Amendment is intended to do, but it doesn't seem that the Constitution is much of an obstacle or a problem for this administration. But nevertheless, shall not be infringed is something that a treaty can't trump. The very language in the Constitution dealing with treaty making says that treaties have to be made under the authority of the United States. And if we, the people, haven't given authority for gun control to the United States, to the federal government, then its hands are tied. And at a practical level, I think even Harry Reid's Senate would look at that treaty if it's presented to them and say, this is toxic. I'm not going there in an election year.
I mean, the gun lobby has a lot of power, KT, a lot of power. I mean, just look at once the NRA decided to score that Holder contempt vote, you had like 24 Democrats almost immediately come over the other side of the aisle. So these lawmakers do pay attention to what the gun lobby wants.
You can go to this website and watch the rest of the video if you'd like to. It's foxnews.com. I can put the link at the bottom in the description when I'm done with the video. But there it is right there. It's bad all around. I mean, it goes on to say a treaty being hammered out this month at the United Nations with Iran playing a key role could expose the records of America's gun owners to foreign governments, and critics warn eventually put the Second Amendment on global trial. International talks in New York are going on throughout July on the final wording of the so-called Arms Trade Treaty, which supporters such as Amnesty International USA say would rein in unregulated weapons that kill an estimated 1,500 people daily around the world. But critics, including the National Rifle Association's Wayne LaPierre, warn the treaty would mark a major step toward the eventual erosion of the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment gun ownership rights. Sorry, I don't know what that was about. Just popped up there. Anyway, it goes on to say Americans just don't want the UN to be acting as a global nanny with global permission slips stating whether they can own a gun or not. LaPierre said, it cheapens our rights as American citizens and weakens our sovereignty. He warned in an exclusive interview with FoxNews.com from the halls of the UN negotiating chambers. And it goes on to say more about it. I mean, it says the world body has already been criticized for appointing Iran to a key role in the talks, even as Tehran stands accused by the UN of arming Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's bloody crackdown on rebels. And it goes on to talk more about it. But I mean, our Second Amendment is ours. It's for America, for the United States of America. Not for the UN to decide about it, not for them to be able to get our information or know where we live or anything else. It is for us to have the right. Oh my gosh. It is for us to have the right to bear arms, for us to have the right to have a gun in our home so that we can defend ourselves against intruders. I mean, that's just plain and simple what it is. It's not for them to try to come and take away from us. Not for them to be in our business. To know our records. I mean, our records are our records. Our records is our life. What we do, our birthday, how old we are, our social security number, our address. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want other countries like Iran or Pakistan or places like that knowing my business. And I'm sure you don't either. But anyway, I just thought this was something important that needed to be got out there. But like I said, I'll post the link in the description. And y'all check it out. It's a shame what this world is coming to. Thank you.